Thanks for tuning in. The Barbershop Sports Talk.
In terms of the crazy results in the standings so far, what would you say has been the most curious slash surprising for you so far?
Surprisingly. Well, I would. I ain't gonna say the Cavs, but I'm gonna throw them in there. But I ain't gonna talk about them because I expected the Cavs to. So we finally got like a decent all around NBA team. But that's later. A team that surprised me the most is probably New York, the Knicks, because I'm on record actually on your show predicting that the Cavs and the Hawks and the Magic would be two contending playoff teams. So like I'm still standing on that. But like a team that I would say that surprised me or how the way they playing is New York Knicks. I didn't know that Julius Randle was top 10 in points scoring and top 10 in points rebounds, and I think it's like just some weird stats.
Is this a mirage, or is he now like a top 15 player in the league?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, even RJ Barrett, like they're competing, bro. I ain't gonna lie, they're competing. They're playing hard. Every team that they play hard. And like New York has size, they got versatility too. Like they just don't have one-dimensional players. Like most of their players are, for the most part, they defend, they can pass, they can shoot, they can rebound, they can do virtually everything. So and they're young, so they like to run. So that's one of the teams I say that surprised me the most.
Julius Randle, 22, 11, and 7. Like, he's playing like a top 15 player in the league right now.
All-star.
Like Julius Randle right now is a top 15 player, correct? Or because we did a top 25 players in the NBA. Like Julius Randle would for sure be in the top 25 if he keeps this up, right? Like,
yes, if he was to do it if he was to do it like for the rest of the season, and we look back on it, yeah.
But do you think this is real? Because he's still fairly young. Like, what is he, 25? So he should be hitting his prime now, right? Like his kind of the peak of his career should be happening the next 2 to 3 years. Do you think this is who Julius Randle is, or do you think this is just a really good 2-week stretch?
I think see, it all depends though too how you look at when players hit their prime. Because I had a debate with my friend that he thinks that players hit their prime younger because they come in the league younger. But I still give it like that mid-20s going to your 30s. Like 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Like, I feel like them your prime years. Because that's when Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan were at their best. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that this is like him. We're just now starting to see like what he can do by himself, like being a leader. Because you got to think about the team he got drafted to. Kobe was there. Like, they eventually got Brooks Lopez. Like, they had KCP, Nick Young. Like, he had a lot of like NBA vets. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, he had a lot of NBA vets that was around him. For the most part, with this New York team, it's basically young guys. Like, third, fourth year players. Some of them second year. They got a new coach too, which I think played a part in it too. But they compete, bro. Like, and they fun to watch, which is shocking.
But in terms of if he's going to keep this up, do you think he will?
Yeah, definitely. Because with Julius, like, he never was a bad player. Like, never was a bad player. I remember when he played against the Cavs and we still had LeBron, he ended up dropping like 40. That was like his last year there. And then I think he was hurt though, like last year and the year before that. So I think that he'll keep it up just off the strength that, like I said, it's the first time he's the leader, like he's the man. And they go and see, and he got a good running mate. Like, they got a solid team. They got, a bit up and coming young star, Mitchell Robinson. They got RJ Barrett. Like, they got a solid squad. And I think that he keep it up just off the strength that he's the guy.
Now I want to go to another surprise team. I thought the Pacers were going to take a dip. They did not. I think I had them out the playoffs, Scotty. I don't remember. Did you have the Pacers out the playoffs?
I did too.
You did? Yeah. And Sabonis and Michael Brogdon have both went up a level this year. Brogdon's at like 25 a game?
Mm-hmm.
Which did you ever think Michael Brogdon would be able to do that? Like, did you ever imagine that, Scotty?
I mean, I like Michael. I like Malcolm Brogdon, especially from his rookie year and from his time in Milwaukee. I was on the Malcolm Brogdon in Syracuse stuff. I like how the way he plays basketball. Like, he's a smart player, and he does everything. Like, he defends, he can run the offense, he can initiate the offense, he can score off the dribble, he can shoot. You know what I'm saying? He can pass. Like, I think that he's very underrated, and Milwaukee made a mistake by not paying him and letting him go. But I think but can I honestly say that I expect him to average 25? Maybe not. But I also always thought he had the potential to, though, to be at least like a 20-point like average like guy.
And
sure.
And Sabonis is at 22 and 11 right now, and then you have Oladipo, who to me he's not back to prime Oladipo, right? That Oladipo that led the Pacers to actually to face the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe, in 2018. They took the Cavs to 7 games when Oladipo got traded from Oklahoma City to Indiana. That Oladipo's not back. But if that Oladipo comes back, how dangerous does Indiana become? Because if you have Brogdon and Oladipo back, and then you have Sabonis playing like this becomes an issue, particularly with Miles Turner. Like, this becomes like a sneaky team. I don't want to say get out of the East, but maybe be like a Miami Heat team from last year. Like, right? Like, this becomes a sneaky good team.
I wouldn't say that. Because as much as I like them, they're just like a regular, you know what I'm saying, like a playoff team. I don't think that they got that impact that like the other teams got. Yeah, they good. But even in 2018, I think the reason they took us to 7 is because it was just the cast and the team we had. Like, I feel like if it was like built like the team that we had in 2016 or 15 and 17, I feel like that would have been like a good 4-5 game series. But it was because of the teams that we had, which is why it took us to 7. But I don't think Oli gonna ever come back like to his regular. I hope he does though. But personally, like from what I be seeing, it's gonna be hard to. Like, it's hard for me to say that I think he'll ever go back to, who he once was. Because, like you said, when you was the man on the team, bro, and then you got, Sabonis, like you said, Sabonis is on the rise, and Malcolm Brogdon is here. Like, that kind of stuns your growth because they're running the offense, and you're used to running the offense. It's kind of like the John Wall and Brad Beal effect. Like, it was a statistic that showed that Washington won more when John Wall didn't play. But they were a better team when both of them played, though. You get what I'm saying? So it was like that effect. And that could be hard to bounce back from, especially if you always hurt and you got other players that running the offense. And then you that type of player that wants to get, back into the offense when you come back. And that's going to be hard because you was just, off for a minute. You got to, that comes with getting touches and, having those shots, getting those looks that you're used to getting. You might not get those looks, so. No, I don't think they'd be like a Miami. They'd be a good team for sure, but I don't think they'd be like a Miami. Miami team is built different.
Could you see them trading Oladipo and kind of flipping him into something else that fits better with their team? Because I don't feel like they need Oladipo right now.
Exactly. I feel like that's exactly what I could see them doing there. I could see them trading them and getting something back, probably, either a piece or a couple of draft picks because they're not bad at drafting either. So, they drafted Miles Turner. He turns out he ain't the best center, but he's a good fit for that team. So I think they can move on from him and be better.
And I'm thinking like another wing, if they could, maybe get and I obviously know this wouldn't happen, but a Jimmy Butler type, or hell, the guy they used to have there, Paul George. If you just took out Oladipo and you drop Paul George into this team, then this team becomes for real.
I mean, they got T.J. Warren.
I don't think T.J. Warren's at that level. I mean, that's another guy. My God, they have so much depth.
I mean, he did drop 50 in the bubble a couple times.
And he's what, their 5th best player?
I mean, but he always been like that, though. Even his time in Phoenix, he'd be the only person that guard LeBron and actually hold his own against him. If not, play harder. You know what I mean? So, but you're right. I don't think he's that guy neither, but I feel like they need another big.